Alright, hello fun and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Lightning Plasma Gun mod, which is being made by user Blaine Mobius. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is a fun new energy weapon in the form of the Lightning Plasma Gun. And despite being gigantic for a gun here, I mean that's most weapons in this game, let's be honest, I've really been enjoying my time with this because, well, it's not only always great to see a new energy weapon, but this thing's got a really interesting ricochet mechanic, which we'll talk about in a little bit, that is a whole heck of a lot of fun to mess with. And I gotta admit, I'm very excited for this mod because it seems to be one of a small series of new mods that were released to showcase a new hopeful upcoming larger mod in Fallout New Austin, which is a project I'd never heard of before, and that excites me, so I can't wait to see more from Mobius. I'll have to keep an eye on his stuff, but for now, let's just, focus on the gun and take a look at what we are getting with the Lightning Plasma Gun, which awkwardly currently is just referred to as the plasma pistol here in the game, which hopefully changes because, well, we already have a plasma pistol. But nonetheless, this thing will do for you 24 physical damage and 30 energy damage using a standard plasma round, and will give you a firing rate of 50 with a range of 71, accuracy of 77 for a pretty small weight of just 3.9. Not too bad there. And as you can see, this is a pretty nifty looking gun, and in fact the design of this is actually inspired by some unused Fallout 3 concept art, which just makes this gun even more interesting to me because I always do love when mod makers take those concept art pieces and make them into reality. They tend to end up pretty cool looking, and I quite like this. It's good on the modeling and the texturing, love all the little details here and there. It is pretty darn cool. I very much do like this gun. Now, at the moment, it's pretty lacking in modifications, but the mod maker has said that they do plan on having more in the future. When those will come, I don't know, but for the time being, it is pretty darn limited, but still, I think very much worth it for that ricochet mechanic, which again, we'll talk about in a moment. It's pretty darn cool. But all in all, a pretty nifty gun that I do enjoy here. Though, awkwardly, it doesn't seem to have a trigger anywhere, which is a little weird. That's my one complaint I have on the model. Don't know how we actually physically shoot this gun, but nonetheless, it works, so, okay, I'll roll with it. Alright, now as for how you do get your hands one of these lovely things, well, it's pretty darn simple. You're gonna have to wait until level 15, and after that you will find this thing around the world on gunners as well as in weapon shops. And it's pretty easy, especially to get it at the weapon store in Diamond City, and the gunners, it seems a little bit harder to get your hands on from my testing, but still not too difficult. Again, you just gotta wait for that level 15, and you get one of these beautiful things. Now let's take a look at the currently minimal list of modifications that we do have, starting with the, I guess, the receiver category, despite the fact that we have nothing, sadly, in here. Hopefully we do get some things added to this in the future. That would be nice. But what we do have is barrel, grip, sights, and muzzle, which also has nothing in there, but hey, hopefully with the category being here, it means we'll get something there in the future. Right now, we realistically only have 3 modifications to add to this gun. We can turn it from a pistol into a rifle, which is going to up the damage a bit and dramatically increase the range of this thing. We can also change it from a pistol grip to a rifle stock, which is going to help with your accuracy. Always good there. And then with the sights, we only have one, and that is a reflex sight, which is pretty important because, well, if you enjoy aiming down sight, you'll need it because there are literally no iron sights on this thing. So, it'll kind of be a guess whenever you're trying to shoot. So the reflex, kind of important there, and of course will up your accuracy even more. So again, like I said, not a whole lot here, but the mod maker did say they've got a video about their own video about this mod, going over some things, including sort of how they're hoping to use it with Fallout New Austin, and they did talk about especially things like more sights in here, so hopefully we'll get those in the future, but for now it's a pretty simple gun that's honestly for level 15 not going to do the greatest amount of damage ever, but that is where this thing shines with the ricochet mechanic, which we'll talk about now. Let me grab one of my modified ones, since we really don't need to grab two. And stick with the pistol first, and take some shots, and you will see just a mess of particle effects with how the ricochet thing for this gun works. So, fire. I just realized I forgot to turn off God mode earlier. There we go. There we are. I mean, now, I didn't fire that many rounds, so we probably still stuck within the usual, but we'll do a reload there for you. Got like a cool little lever that comes down in front of the plasma cartridge there, which is pretty neat. But what's real fun that I hope you noticed was all the lightning coming off of this thing. Remember, it's a lightning plasma gun, and whenever this baby hits a target, it not only will do the damage and leave a bit of electricity to do some damage over time, but it will arc other bits of lightning out from each shot. And not just one, it will arc out a couple of them. I don't know exactly how many, but it's pretty great because that lightning will then continue to hit other things in the area. So you can honestly not really aim at your enemies. So long as you hit near them, you're probably still gonna get them with one of the many ricocheting lightning bolts coming out of wherever this thing does hit, which makes this thing pretty devastating. Its per shot damage may not be great, but if you've got a crowd of enemies that you're running from, you can take them all out with just a handful of shots. It's pretty darn impressive just because of that ricochet mechanic that this thing does have. And I do like that it does create, as we've seen with a few other modded weapons in the past, the electrical orbs that stay there for a bit to add a little bit more damage over time. So again, if you've got like a grouping of enemies, you can just shoot all around them, covering the place with not only arcs of lightning, but balls of lightning too, to just ruin everyone's day. And that is a lot of fun. Now let's take a look. Actually, before we switch over to the tactical one, at least show the complete lack of iron sights that we have here. I mean, if you just aim kind of above the weird blue glowing bit, it kind of acts as iron sights, but it's not exactly the greatest or best solution, which is why, it's nice on the tactical one here that we can get a reflex sight on the back for some more proper aiming. So, we'll switch over to that one right there, and there we go. We have some nice, much more accurate shots and quite a bit of zoom, too. In fact, a bit more zoom than I really expected from this thing, but still, nonetheless, a very nice to have, and you can once more just wreck your enemies in whatever grouping they're in. So let's see how that pans out. Now let's do this instead of with our usual death claw, because it is pretty low damage. Let's actually just pop out a singular raider. And hello, friend. So, it kills him pretty good. He's a very low-level creation there, but I did shoot directly at him, so let's shoot near him. And there you go. It took 3 shots, but shooting at the ground by him still eventually killed him with that ricochet damage. Now, what I'm going to do, because I just find this so entertaining and fun to do, is I'm going to go into here in one of our old animal test chambers that we used to use, turn on God mode real quick so I don't immediately die. And then let's spawn in like 10 of these guys. There we go. You all just stay there for a moment, please. There we go. Awesome. Wonderful. And just fire into the crowd. And they're mostly dead. I am still in God mode, so we didn't go through all of our ammo there. But still, had I been at the full 22 rounds there on the rifle, we would have killed all of them probably in one singular plasma cartridge. In fact, let's double check that just to make sure. This is my favorite part about this gun. That arcing to the lightning is just great. You know what? I'm just gonna no clip out of here. There we go. Lovely. You guys enjoyed that briefly, and oh god, there are still a fair few of them. They may kill me even when I get out of god mode here. But fire. Do it from the safety of the rear, because the arc lightning will still kill. Yup, we're already down to just 4 of them left. There we go. I'm even hitting the railing, and the arcs of lightning are still shooting down from the railing and hitting the enemy. So that was 10 raiders all just obliterated before we went through, you know, a plasma cartridge there, which was magnificent. You can just end up with so much carnage. It is a great tool for clearing out rooms or groups of enemies, or when you're shooting on the run. You don't really gotta aim with this thing. You just gotta shoot near people, and then the arc lightning will do the rest. It's just the best. I really, really do have a lot of fun with this gun. It may not be the best per shot damage, but yeah, that ricochet mechanic for this thing is just beautiful. So if you'd like to take a look at this gun for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you have a look at the link in the video as per usual for these, and definitely join me in keeping an eye out for anything else about Fallout New Austin. I'm looking forward to seeing more for that. Well, that's going to be it for today. Hopefully you all have enjoyed, and you do come back for whatever mod we do look at next. But until that time, thank you for watching as always. Well, have a good one.